Hi, it's Jay again. So now, excuse me, now that you've explored your pattern and its childhood origins and the capacity that transforms it, it's time to begin to set up a homework practice. For example, if you've been working on the people-pleasing pattern, your homework practice will be to activate assertiveness in place of people-pleasing in those situations where you might normally please people. So, for example, here we are on the page at the beginning of stage 4. And what you're going to do is you're going to choose a practice situation, which is a situation that's likely to come up in the next week or two, where you like to practice being assertive instead of pleasing. And here you can see I've chosen, as of my practice situation, a friend asked me to do something. So now we'll scroll down, and we've now set up the practice situation. Now we go to the next page, and we can fill in a few things like how do I usually behave, how would I like to behave in the practice situation, what are the fears of my people-pleasing part, who I've called the nice guy, and instead I'm trying to develop the assertiveness capacity, which mine is called straight talker. So now I scroll down, and here are the fears and other motivations that I checked off in stage 1 for people pleasing. They show up again in stage 4. I'm trying to get attention, blah blah blah, by pleasing. I'm afraid of being rejected. And each of these gives you a chance to work through, or some of them give you a chance to work through the fear that is behind your people-pleasing pattern. So let's suppose the fear is of being criticized. So, and I decide I want to work that through here in stage 4. I'll click here on working through harm fear. And here's another little step sequence for working through the fear of being harmed, which is equivalent of being attacked, judged, shamed, or violated. So on the first page, we check to see, is this part's fear of being harmed in this situation where a friend asks you to do something for them? Is it realistic or not? In other words, is the fear of being judged, is your friend likely to actually judge you if you don't agree to do what they've asked? And there are two possibilities. Either no, it's not realistic because it comes from childhood, and my friend is not likely to judge me, or, well, maybe I have a friend who might get a little judgmental if I don't agree to do what they want. So, in the case that the fear is realistic, there are 3 pages coming up here that allow you to explore the realistic fear. One is it worth being assertive, in this case saying no, even if I do get judged? Second one is, if I do get judged, can I handle the pain? And the third is, are there things that I can do in that situation to prevent myself from getting judged or to handle it if a friend gets judgmental? So I get these 3 pages to work out the details of that. And what I end up with this, from doing this, is and of course, in some cases, the fear won't be realistic. You know, my friend won't be judging me, so you don't have to do those 3 pages. So what you end up with is either the understanding that the fear isn't realistic, or a plan for handling it, or knowing that you can handle it if it is. And then you go to the page where you actually do another IFS-oriented guided meditation. And in this case, what you're going to do is go inside and get to know that people-pleasing part even more. And you're going to reassure the part, basically, that in the situation that's coming up soon, in this case, a friend asked me to do something, if the people-pleasing part doesn't take over and allows me to be assertive and say no instead, that either nothing bad's going to happen, or if I do get judged, I can handle it, or I've got a plan for handling it. And so you basically reassure the people-pleasing part that it doesn't need to be pleasing in that situation, that it can let you take over instead and be assertive if you like. So that takes care of that particular fear. Now we can go back to stage 4 here and see if we want to work through one of the other fears, maybe the fear of rejection or the fear of attack. Or there are also different possibilities in stage 4. You may be trying to get connection or love or attention by pleasing, and then there's a sequence for working that through. You might be afraid of an inner attack from your inner critic, so there's a sequence to work that through. Your people-pleasing might be in the service of a different pattern, like being in the service of caretaking. So there's a sequence for that, for working that through. Or you might actually be in a conflict, let's say between your people-pleasing part and an angry part. And in IFS, that's called a polarization. And so there's a sequence for the working that through, and actually another guided meditation for working through the polarization between these two parts. So you can do one or more of these different, working through these different fears or other motivations. And once you've done as many of those as you need, you now have finished stage 4, and you're ready to move on to stage 5 to actually set up the homework practice that you're going to do in your life. And I'll have another video to deal with stage 5 when you get there.